Open your ears and lube up your butthole. It's time for the What Do We Call It podcast. Now, here's your host. It's Jmann. Welcome to the What Do We Call It podcast. I'm Jmann, and with me here today is
Bergie.
Welcome back, sir.
Thanks. Good to be back.
The reason that you are here is because we can't get into specifics, but you are leaving town for the better part of the year.
Yes.
So I won't see you in like forever.
Probably forever.
What?
I mean, hopefully not forever, but a year.
So I had to get my jail cohort on so we could do an episode I'd like to call Jail-a-palooza. It's an all jail-themed episode, so here we go. For starters, things you learn when you work in a jail. Drug addicts and dealers sleep with their shoes on.
Yes, very true.
And here's why. They're always wary of getting their door busted down in the middle of the night, or if they're sleeping in a trap house, getting raided.
Right.
So they're ready to go.
Clothes on. Yeah, no, there's no such thing as PJs. It's jeans, T-shirts, and shoes.
And before I worked in a jail, I'd never seen that before. And I guess it didn't dawn on me at first. I'm like, what is with these fucking weirdos sleeping in their shoes? And then I thought, oh yeah, these are all meth heads.
Right.
They want to get the fuck out of Dodge the second that somebody kicks a door and screams, task force, hands in the air,
right.
Or sheriff's department.
Run. Scatter.
So now, if you were deployed somewhere and there was live combat going on around you, would they ask you or require you to sleep in your boots just in case?
I mean, I would assume it'd be a given. Not that we really bring PJs with us. You might de-blouse, take off your blouse, and sleep in your T-shirt if it's super hot outside. But if anything, I would assume that you'd probably keep a majority of your clothes on, yeah.
You said blouse.
De-blouse, that's what we call it.
Really?
Because it's a blouse. It's not a T-shirt, it's a jacket, kind of. They call it a blouse. It's not my choice words.
Oh no, I soiled my men's blouse.
But yeah, I mean, I've never been in that situation. I've been on a base where it's gotten mortared several times a week.
Jesus. And
it's just one of those things where the first month you're there, you're like, holy fuck, run to a bunker, and you don't care what you have on. You know, you're running your bare feet, flip-flops, whatever you got on. You throw in your body armor and your Kevlar, and you just run into a bunker. But after month 1-ish, 2 starts rolling around, and you're just like, fuck it, I'm enjoying this movie. I'm not going to leave. If it's my time to go, it's my time to go. And then you just sit there and enjoy the rest of your movie. You just turn up the volume a little bit. But
turn up the volume a little bit.
Turn up the volume a little bit, try to drown out the sirens and shit. But
the bass and the surround sound is fucking awesome.
So real. Yeah, I mean, that makes logical sense that you would sleep with as much clothing on as you can in case you need to just jump up and go.
Which it kind of relates to the time that number one fan Tim's house burned down.
Oh, shit.
He heard this sound in the basement, and then he ran downstairs and realized the house was on fire, and then he ran back upstairs to get his ex-wife and the kids out. And she gets out of bed, and she's fully clothed.
Oh, boy.
Ironically.
Weird.
Usually sleeps in a nightgown.
You bitch!
Huh.
And then later on, he tried to tell the sheriff's department that he thought she tried to kill him and the boys to make a clean break of it. And then he found that piece of paper inside of a notebook in the garage at their rental townhouse in the interim that said, what do I get if I killed him? What do I get if I divorced him?
Oh my God, she made a pros and cons?
Yes.
Holy fuck.
Her alibi? That's for a book I'm writing.
Did she ever complete the book?
No.
Oh, guilty.
And she never got charged.
Wow, that's fucked up.
You would think that just by sitting there on the outside looking in, that sounds really fucking peculiar.
It does.
And then the sheriff's department was like, boy, I don't know. Really?
Wow.
Fuck off, I just fed you.
He wants to be heard. Yeah, that sounds a little suspicious. But, I mean, again, she wanted to make that clean break. She was ready to go. Jump out of bed and start beating feet.
Well, I kind of feel like spending $800 on a lawyer is a lot easier than maybe committing an arson and 3 possible murders.
Yeah. Spending the rest of your life in prison, yeah.
Well, what do I know?
Right.
I've never been a woman in that position.
She would have already had one of the requirements down, just sleeping in all the clothes she can, and just in case she gets beaten up at night or something.
Yeah, I don't know if they have that same sense of street justice in the female prison that they do in the men's prisons.
I've heard females get raped a heck of a lot more in facilities than males do.
I was thinking beatings versus rapes.
Oh, well.
Since she would have murdered her family.
Maybe she'd get raped.
Maybe they just wouldn't even fucking go near her because they think she's batshit crazy for killing her family with fire. That's cold-blooded.
Yeah.
Topic number 2. I wanted to talk about inmate injuries, inmate falls, and inmates fainting. I have a few stories. Do you have any stories?
Sure. I think if we're going to talk about falls, we're probably going to talk about the same guy. Like fainting, maybe not too much about that, but for sure. I mean, them trying to place the blame on other people just to foot a medical bill or something.
Are we talking about the guy who had somebody water up the floor so he could take a running gainer and fall backwards and hurt his neck?
Yep.
And he spent the better part of, I don't know how many months in a fucking neck brace trying to sell the injury.
Milk it. Yeah. Yeah, he was a shitbag. Everyone knew he was playing from the get-go. We even had other inmates come up to us and say, "Oh yeah, he's faking it. He's faking it. He's told us that he's doing it just to try to get out early, just to sue the county."
He's not a very good criminal. Because if you're gonna try to get away with something, don't fucking tell anyone.
Yep.
Only yourself.
Yep. Loose lips sink ships.
They do. Well, I see. The reason I bring it up is because recently I had a gentleman faint on me. Not onto me, but in front of me. Here's the scene. Somebody's like, "Oh, he's going to faint. Can you go in there and check on him?" So I go into the bathroom. He's on the toilet, shitting. And I'm like, "Okay, here's what I want you to do. If you're feeling lightheaded, sit up and lean back or to the side. I would prefer if you faint up against the wall rather than falling forward and smashing your face."
Right.
No sooner do I finish my fucking sentence does he slowly falls forward and he hits his head on the ground. Then he gets up and his head goes back down again. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. So I got to open the door to look to see what's going on. And there he is, face down, ass up, the horizon of a hairy man's butt crack. Yeah, and he had not wiped yet. So I'm like, I'm not fucking going in there.
Yeah.
Then he kind of stands up and is like, oh, he's just standing there like half bent at the knee, pants around his goddamn ankles, rubbing his eyes with his fucking
dirty
glory
fingers
waving in the wind.
Ooh.
Yeah, rude.
Yeah. And, you think about that, and it's maybe something legit. I mean, it's one of those things where, of course, I wasn't there, so I couldn't tell you. I'd like to think that I could judge a person's acting skills by how drastic the incident becomes. Like, we had a guy who had a seizure and actually pissed himself. And so it's one of those things where, all right, dude, props for pissing yourself. I found out later, of course, he was acting as well. But
nice.
Just took one of those little extra steps to kind of, hey, I'm not joking around. I'm really having one because, see, I soiled myself. And it also happened in the bathroom, and he went face down, tongue out on the bathroom floor. So it's like one of those things where it's like, all right, dude, you're committed. Yeah, we need to get you to a hospital just because you're that fucked up.
Oh, for God's sake.
But
I know you weren't in the building the day it happened, but I know you were working there at the time. I'm pretty sure you were around when that old guy had the heart attack in the basement and then shit his pants.
Yep.
And then we had to go and get the old defib box to fucking shock him back into consciousness.
Get him back.
Pants full of poop.
Poopy pants. Yep, I was there. There was a time where a guy was coming in for intake, and he was leaning up against the desk, and someone was going through his pockets and taking all his shit and all that stuff, and he started acting real funny, saying that he felt like he was gonna seize. And so no sooner did I stand up to come around from the other side of the desk, he stood up and threw his hands in the air and just started screaming. And he locked up everywhere. I pulled a Superman move, jumped over the desk and grabbed him and assisted him to the ground. And that was legit, because he was fucking out like a light after he hit the ground. He was done, snoring and everything.
He hit his head?
No, thanks to my Superman skills.
Oh.
But, I mean, yeah, it's one of those things where you do, of course, come across lots of legit people falling and hurting themselves and, you know, of course, being stupid and leaning back in their dumb jail chairs and cracking their head open on the floor because they're retarded. But I would say a majority of the injuries that we deal with are totally just falsified. Just to try to get to the hospital, get some, I can't even say decent food.
Better food.
Get a little better food. Maybe have their significant other or drug dealers come visit them while they're in the hospital, get as many free phone calls as they want to. So, I mean, the perks for them are all there. It's just a matter of if we're dumb enough to fall for their shit. And a lot of the times their shit isn't up to par for staff to really fall.
It's not believable.
No. They like I kind of said before, their acting skills, you know, it's like they watch a lot of like Sharknado, of course, a lot of B movies trying to get their acting skills up to par. So they just over-dramatize everything and make everything super unbelievable because, you know, of course, it's got to be extreme.
Yeah. I'd like to point out that we have a guy that has been there numerous times who seizes quite a bit.
Yeah.
And he's had legitimate seizures. He's had fake seizures. And the last legitimate one he had, I was there for. And it just kept going and going. And I had to try to get him off a bed, onto the ground, onto a mattress with a pillow under his head so he'd stop knocking his head, because he got there and his head was like knocking off the fucking floor. But I kind of feel like that's kind of a karmic payback for the time he faked the seizure to go to the hospital. And then the nurses caught him with his girlfriend fucking him. She was on top of him in the hospital bed.
Yep. Not his wife, his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yep.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah. He also did have a wife, too. Yeah.
Did he?
Oh, yeah.
Good for him. Having some side squish.
Just doing it. Doing it.
And doing it well.
Yeah, he's the tongue out on the bathroom floor guy. That's him.
Is he?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Wow.
That was one of his first ones with us.
Christ. I bet you of all the best seizure stories, he's at least 5 out of the top 10.
For sure. Absolutely.
Whereas another time I was working, and it was not, you weren't there. We had 2 other people working with me. And there was a guy in the bathroom. Again, the bathroom's a terrible place to have to fucking deal with people. And he said that he had hit his head. I'm like, what do you mean? Well, I hit my head. Keep in mind that I'm on the outside of a stall and he's shitting. He's like, well, I got in here. I kind of slipped forward and bumped my head on the door. Well, the door is not really a door like a regular stall. What the fuck is that even made out of? It's like polycarbonate fucking fiberglass.
Right. Yeah.
So it's not even hard. He hit his head like on the edge of where the door met the bracket that it turns on, and he had a small cut up here on his hairline. I'm like, okay, we'll finish up and then come out and we'll take a look. A few minutes later, he comes stumbling out of the bathroom, and I hear his feet. So I turn around. He is as white as a ghost.
Oh.
I had heard that phrase before. You think you know what it looks like. No, he legitimately looked like a fucking zombie from the blood rush. But he had been upright for a number of minutes since hitting his head, and he didn't even strike it on the ground. He just fell forward, and I guess he passed out halfway, caught himself. He woke up on the fall down, and then he hit his head. But yeah, he was just stutter walking towards us, and it looked everything like the old George Romero original Night of the Living Dead in black and white.
Wow.
Spooky.
Yeah. Yeah, see, it's stuff like that you can't fake. But yeah, and then of course we'll play the vitals card. That's one of my favorite things to do when they're saying that they're going to die from something is, we'll run your vitals. Oh, what's that going to prove? It's going to see if you're under a level of stress. If you are, in fact, dying, we're going to be able to see that.
Blood pressure, temperature, heart palpitations.
And then they, I guess I'm okay.
Yeah, go fucking figure.
That's what I thought.
I had a guy fake shit on us 3 nights in a row in a weekend. He came in for intake on a Friday. He had gotten his tongue pierced that morning.
Smart.
Said his tongue was swelling up, and we ended up having to send him in an ambulance. So there's $1,700 of taxpayer money.
Easy.
The next night, he is he's in a different room, and he says he's got a nosebleed. And it didn't look like that much. Well, I kept doing my rounds over the span of an hour and a half. The nosebleed kept getting worse. which is pretty indicative of the fact that he's making himself bleed by stabbing himself with a pencil or God knows what. And he gets up and he comes out. He comes walking to the desk. He's like, I don't feel so good because the blood won't stop. I feel like I'm going to faint. He's like, oh, shit. And then he faints. Only, if you're going to faint, you don't have time to say, oh, shit. And not only did he say, oh, shit, he was like lurching over, walking like he was in pain. But when he said, oh, shit, he stood up straight and then fell backwards, like full, like work / 75-degree posture. Just fell flat. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, are you fucking shitting me? And at the time, oh my God, was working. And it's an inside joke for us, not for the listeners. And I tell her, okay, I'm pretty sure he's crappie flopping. Give him a sternal rub. Which, if you don't know what a sternal rub is, you take your index and middle finger and you bend them over like you're making a half a fist, and you take those knuckles and you just really drill them into somebody's sternum and rub hard. Well, it hurts like hell, the bone on bone, and it should jolt somebody up. They'll go, ow, ow, you would think. That's what we're told to do. Yep. She takes her hand and just gently caresses his sternum. Are you fucking serious? Jesus.
Yep. Yeah, the sternum rub is a good tool. That's what I used on our Caesar McSeizurson we were talking about earlier. And I had brought him right off his seizure, so one of those clear fake ones he was having. Yeah. You just fucking drill it right in there, and if it causes him to sit up, then they're probably just fine.
Well, after he faints from the nosebleed, after she gives him the chest massage / sternal rub, back in the ambulance, back to the hospital again. Another $1,750 there. He gets a night in a comfy bed and some food. Comes back for a third night. I'm doing a round. It's like 3:30 in the morning. And I walk into the room. I hear nothing. Nothing out of the ordinary. Breathing is fine. One guy's lightly snoring. I turn around to leave. I get around the corner where I can't see him. And I just hear this. I'm like, fuck. So I go back and I start listening for what's coming. Same goddamn guy. I turn on the light. Like, what's going on? It hurts. He's clenching his teeth and grinding them. And when I say grinding them, he ground them so hard, I thought I heard one of his teeth crack. I flinched. It made my eyes wince. And I'm like, well, what hurts? My whole body. Faking a fucking seizure. And I felt like a dupe because he put on a pretty good show. And he was sweating profusely. So I took like a paper towel, was dabbing sweat. I'm like, all right, EMS is coming. Just relax, bud. Here comes the paramedics on the fucking gurney, out the door in the goddamn ambulance, third night in a row. That son of a bitch never got a bill. It all came off the taxpayer dime.
Right. And I'd be anxious to see what else he got fixed while he was there, or at least claimed or tried to get fixed, because a lot of them will go to the hospital for reasons we'll send them.
Yeah, but I mean, the guy went for the hat trick in the same weekend. Right. I mean, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night, he went every fucking night. Yeah. That's unheard of. I was half hoping the fucking ambulance doors would not be shut all the way and they'd hit a speed bump and the thing would go rolling down the street on him. Give him a real scare for all the fucking work we put into, air quotes, helping him.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because then it leads to those boy who cries wolf scenario, and next guy who's sitting there seasoned, or just like, you're not doing anything right. You're fine.
As he's foaming at the fucking mouth.
Yeah. I mean, of course, it wouldn't be that drastic, but it's just one of those things where, one of these days something's actually going to happen to him and no one's going to fucking believe him because he's such a piece of shit and has medical stuff happen to him all the time, quote unquote. It's unfortunate. You got to judge that stuff, but all in all, I would say a majority of the situations we deal with are fake. Totally.
On the flip side of the coin, one time, here's a story. I came in and somebody said a guy went in an ambulance and he almost could have got his leg amputated because his kneecap dislocated. Like he jumped down off the bunk and caught his foot, and they said that his kneecap dislocated. That's a major fucking injury. That's what happened to Teddy Bridgewater. He did not dislocate his kneecap. He hit the ground and twisted his knee and screamed like a bitch.
Oh, yeah.
And got to go in an ambulance.
Yeah, that's the other thing about drug dealers and these criminals. They're pussies.
They are pussies.
They're fucking pussies.
That's why they're all packing knives and guns and shit. Nobody knows how to fucking fight.
They get a little paper cut or scratch or hangnail. They're just bitching and crying about, where's my medical needs? You're not fulfilling my medical needs. Bro, you'll be fine.
I had a lady ask if she could go to the ER because she thought that her finger was super infected. Hangnail.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Hangnail, and it was red and puffy. She's like, well, it's all red and it hurts and it's pulsating. I'm like, yeah, that's called an infection in your nail wall or your cuticle. Trim it up a bit and wash it out and put some bacitracin on that shit with a Band-Aid. I don't think we need to get any sort of medical professionals involved in this. Well, are you a doctor? You know what? I technically fucking am with all the experience I have.
And a dentist, too. We're also dentists. The teeth of a lot of the individuals we deal with are absurd. You imagine someone opening up their mouth and you see...
Not enough teeth, for starters.
Not only not enough teeth, but the teeth that are there are halved, quartered, nearly black.
Broken at the gum line.
Broken, and just... It makes your mouth hurt looking at their teeth.
And meth breath.
And they'll say that my teeth hurt. And then no fucking shit, man. It looks like they've hurt for quite a fucking while. But, of course, you know what? Now that they're in our care... we'll send you to the dentist. Sure, they're not going to be nice to you. They'll just rip them all out. But they get that shit taken care of. No cost to them whatsoever other than 30 days, 40 days in a correctional facility.
I like when they say they bit down on a piece of candy or something and their tooth broke, and what they're really doing is just trying to get that tooth fixed. But little do you know, things you learn when you work in a jail. We don't pay for you to get your teeth fixed.
No, it's pulled.
We only have the funds for extraction. So if you got a busted ass tooth, that son of a bitch is coming out. We're not going to cap it. We're not going to bridge it. We're not going to do anything with it. No fillings, no nothing.
Yep, it's gone.
Lose a filling? Yoink.
Yep.
Tooth broken? Yoink. Just minor cavity. Either tough it out or yoink.
Yep. Bye, Felicia.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Here's the next segment I'd like to get into, and this is an idea I had. I was talking to somebody. I'm like, that's something that you would never want to say in a jail or a prison.
Let's do this.
So I have made a list of things. Hopefully you can come up with some on the fly. I have some listener submissions from weeks ago. Things you shouldn't say in prison. I've always wondered what cum tastes like.
That's for sure. You'll find out.
Yeah.
You start saying stuff like that, you're going to find out quick.
Because I've smelled what my cum smells like.
Any man has. Every single dude has.
But I'm not going to taste it.
You are the weirdest fucking dude. Right. You're the weirdest dude if you don't know what your semen smells like. You are fucking weird, and I don't like you.
Number 2. So, I don't have a gag reflex.
Oh, also, I'm sure you'll find one.
You don't say. Surprise, motherfucker.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Number 3, I'm a real heavy sleeper.
Yeah, that goes along with never sleep on your belly. Yep.
Number 4, my girlfriends always say what a great kisser I am.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Romance
you
there.
You would be a bitch.
Number 5, I do a lot of squats. My ass is so tight.
So tight. Yeah.
Number 6, I was a collegiate wrestling champ.
Okay. I mean, getting down, you're okay with, getting all over dudes?
Well, I know that you know how to handle another man.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Well, I mean, that would be a good thing to say in a prison, I think. Maybe. I mean, you'd, of course, be put to the test, but...
It takes a man to know what a man likes.
Maybe. And this is going to be, this next one, there's 2 that are very similar. Number 7, dude, your dick is huge.
Uh-huh. Yep.
And Neil submitted one. I'm like, give me some submissions. I sent out a mass text. The first one I get back is Neil, and it says, nice penis.
Totally. Like that one. Yep. Nice penis.
Have you ever stubbed your toe and uttered the phrase, ow, fuck my ass?
Yeah.
You ever said fuck my ass? Not like asking somebody like, oh, fuck my ass. Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty I yell out, "Fuck me, fuck me." That's what I yell. I don't quite necessarily specify my ass, but I would assume that, you know, if you're gonna fuck me, you're gonna fuck me in the ass,
Right.
Especially if I'm saying to other dudes, "Fuck me." Yeah, that's what I say. I say, "Fuck me."
Well, Brandon, aka Kid Crazy, he was the second text I got, and it said "fuck my ass."
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You can't derive what the vocal inflection was and how he meant to say that, but many times I've gotten hurt and been like, "Ow, fuck my ass."
Or, you know, maybe he's in the shower and he drops his soap and goes to pick it up and falls and just bumps his butt on the ground and he's just, "Oh, fuck my," and then he's specifying my ass.
Fuck my.
Fuck
See, a comma
my
drastically
ass.
changes the nature of that.
Yep.
Contextually, totally different thing.
Yep.
I believe we're on number 8. Do you have any chapstick?
I like that one.
Number 9. It's my first time in jail. Never fucking say that shit.
No, this is my first time.
Yeah, I had a kid who was in his late teens one time going to a room full of guys that were experienced convicts. And he's like, "Yeah, it's my first time in jail." And somebody's like, "Oh, really? It's your first time?" So the guy's just like, "You ever been with a man before?" He's joking with him, but he said it serious enough. "You ever been with a man before?"
Terror. Sheer terror ran down his spine.
I'd like to say thanks, Priya, for ruining awesome jokes
Fun
like that.
shit.
Fucking
Priya.
Prison Rape Elimination Act. Fuck yourself.
That's a piece of shit.
Number 10. My therapist says I'm very sensitive. Do you have anything you can think of that you just comes to mind? A phrase that's an everyday common phrase that seems very simple and safe, but if you uttered it in jail or prison, it can take on
just
new meaning.
anything like, "I like your hair," or "You smell nice." If you're one of those people like me, you know, you're presented with options. "Hey, do you want to go to the movies or dinner or, you know, all that stuff?" And you just simply, like me, I say, "I'm down for anything."
No.
That's probably not something you'd want to say.
Down for whatever.
"I'm down for whatever, man. I don't care." I'm a mama's boy. I'm a mama's boy.
Now I'm going to go into some of these submissions I got on my phone. Graham of It Radio. I have a carton of cigarettes.
Oh, that right there means you were down for anything.
Well,
Or about to be.
first off, cigarettes not allowed anymore.
Right.
At least not in our state. I don't know about other prisons, but the new currency has become noodle cups. They're cheap. You don't get a lot of food in prison or jail. And you're supplementing your diet.
Yeah. Commissary, canteen items for sure.
Let's escape. Kind of an obvious one.
Oh, what kind of escape?
Well, you never know.
Escape.
You're getting out of the facility, you're taking some drugs,
Yeah.
escaping the confines of the heterosexual expectations
Right,
of two
let's
men in a cell
escape.
together.
Yeah. Yep.
Here's my friend Scotty. Is that your soap?
That's a good one. Like that one.
And Graham would die within 24 hours, I guarantee. Your shanking skills are weak. Weak!
I like it.
It's that second
Fucking
gritted teeth.
savage.
Weak!
Fucking savage.
Here's number 1 fan Tim. I ride a motorcycle a lot, so I'm used to an ass pounding.
Yeah. All right.
But you ride a crotch rocket. He rides a cruiser bike, so a totally different ride.
Oh, yeah.
Another one from a number 1 fan Tim. I installed carpet on the outside. Was on my knees all the time.
Yep. A lot of sturdy knees.
Terrible. Here's Scotty again. Surprise sex is the best. Oh, yeah.
I guarantee that's going to be your first experience in prison is surprise sex. You're not going to have the romance sex in prison.
Yeah, it's like, wow,
after.
there are so many nice people here willing to have sex with me against my will.
Boom.
I didn't think I'd be
sex.
so popular so fast.
Boy, that was really gay.
I don't know what Bryce means by this. If any race is wearing boots in the yard, get ready for a fight. What?
I would assume that all races wear boots in the yard.
Maybe? They get like Velcro strap Chuck Taylors in prison, though. They get boots?
I mean, maybe.
How does he doesn't work in the industry. How does he know things we don't know?
Movies.
People need to stop fucking watching Oz. That shit is retarded.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, well, don't waste your fucking time, because all it is just like
Stereotypical.
eloquent gay porn. Yeah, it was on HBO. It ran for 6 seasons, and there was more man-on-man action than any other show.
Dear sweet Christ. Well, we're going to take a quick break to get a word from a sponsor. And here we go.
Have you run afoul of the law? Then call Gilberg Bail Bonds.
Hi, I'm Dwayne, but you may know me as former WWF Light Heavyweight Champion, Gilberg. That's right, I'm Gilberg, and I'm here to help you get out of jail. I'm willing to personally spend up to $200 of my own money to prove to the courts that you're not a threat to society. We're a highly unsuccessful bail bonding company that works with people accused of such crimes as DWI, theft, loitering, public urination, and serial mopery.
Call 800-500-BAIL. That's 800-500-2245. Let Gilberg Bail Bonds help you regain your freedom.
Gilberg Bail Bonds is a subsidiary of Job Squad LLC. And we're back. And surprise third segment.
All right.
I did this with number one fan Tim before. We played a game of fact or crap. I'm going to read you 10 little blurbs. You have to decide if this is a fact or crap. These are all about me or fake about me. When I was a kid, we once had to pull over on the side of the road because the dog pissed on the seat of the van.
I'm trying to think if you've ever told me stories about a dog when you were little. I don't think you have. I'm going to go out on a whim and say that is fact.
It is fact.
All right.
I had a dog from ages 8 to 22. His name was Jacques.
Oh.
He was a toy French poodle, and he was a bastard.
Yeah, French poodles are dicks.
He was possessive of my mother and everything that was his, and all you had to say, Jacques, I'm going to get Mom. Jacques, I'm going to get your rawhide. Jacques, I'm going to get the dingle ball. He'd come run, he'd fucking bite the shit out of you.
Shit, huh?
Most of the scars on my hands are not from, like, manly woodworking incidents.
They're from a poodle.
They're from a fucking poodle biting me, that cunt. So what happens is we're on 35W, headed home from my grandparents' house in Duluth, and he pees on the seat. So my dad pulls over, and he's got to get the blanket off the bench. Thankfully, there was a blanket.
Oh, yeah.
So he puts the dog in the kennel, sets it upright. Doesn't close the fucking door, but sets it upright. Dog knocks it over, door goes open, dog goes walking around the van. I'm like, get him, he's going to get hit. There's fucking cars whizzing by at 70 miles an hour,
shit.
and the dog is scared as hell because he goes around the front of the van, he sees the cars. And then my dad's chasing him to catch him. They did 3 laps around the fucking van before he caught him. And that dog was so close to those tires, just scared for dear life.
Oh, sure.
I'm sitting there crying because I'm like 9 or 10 at the time. I can't, don't let me get my car. Yes, that was fact.
Get smoked.
I painted my fingernails black for a period of 2 to 3 years in my early 20s.
We're going to go crap.
That's actually a fact.
Is there?
I did. I painted my fingernails black. Mainly for looks, but also dual purpose, so I would stop chewing them so much.
Okay. See, that makes sense. And you do bite your nails.
I do. I do. A lot. You have seen it. It's fucking terrible. There was an incident where I was making a key for a gentleman, and he noticed it. And he starts asking me about it. He's like, so who painted your fingernails? I did. Why? I just like the look. Where'd you get the nail polish? At the store where they sell beauty products and nail polish?
Yeah.
Well, didn't you feel silly buying it? No, it's black. It's not like pink or blue or something like that. It's not fruity. Well, didn't they look at you funny when you bought it? No, it's a business. They want money.
Yeah.
So they're like, here are the goods. Thank you for the money.
Get out of my biz, dickhole.
See ya. And then it ends with this. Well, do you know the Lord? I'm like, oh, for Christ's
there
sakes.
it is.
This is where we're going. This
There
guy's
it
a
is.
super fucking Bible thumper, and he thinks that I'm questioning my sexuality or something. I'm like, I used to, but then I gave it up because it didn't really seem right to me. Oh. And then here's the worst part. Well, thanks for talking to me. He fucking sticks his hand out to shake my hand.
Huh.
Like,
It was
you
the-
unscrupulous piece of shit.
Yeah.
Really? I shook his hand. I'm like, thanks. Yeah, you take care. Fuckface. Number 3. I got an eyebrow ring done on the cheap and concealed it from my parents for at least a week. That
That's-
rhymed.
Oh, yeah. I would say that's a fact.
That is a fact.
Yeah.
I went to Marcy's in Blaine, and I think for $40 I got my eyebrow pierced. And
I don't wear it anymore, obviously. But I would just wear hoods in the house. I either was like this, like laying on a pillow with my hand by my eyebrow so they couldn't see it. Or I'd wear a hat with the bill turned to that side, or I'd wear my hood up so they couldn't fucking see it. And I'm eating breakfast one morning, and my mom's like, why are you wearing your hood up? And she pulls it back. She's like, what is that? I'm like,
Dun, dun,
nothing.
dun.
She was super pissed.
How old were you?
I was like 19 or 20.
Well, then you're good to go.
Not in Linda's house.
Oh, yeah. Listen, Linda.
God damn, she's so narrow-minded that anything that she doesn't see eye to eye with is clearly bad. Yeah. I can't remember if she threatened to throw me out of the house for that or what, but she called my dad at work to tell him. Like she had caught me smoking drugs or drinking.
Yeah, that was kind of the giveaways. If you would have had just said that you got your eyebrow pierced for a period of 2 weeks, I would have said that was crap, but then you said you had to hide it, and that makes sense.
Number 4. I once had a routine physical go awry due to a doctor who inquired about if I was sexually active with men.
Just it was a routine physical, huh?
Yes.
Let's go crap.
That is a fact.
Oh, what?
This
Tell me.
fucking guy starts asking me questions about if I smoke, if I drink, if I do drugs. Am I sexually active? Am I sexually active with men? Do I ever have sex with men? And I'm like, no, why? What the fuck? I was offended as all hell.
Yeah.
I'd left there pissed, and I came home and told my mom. She called up there to say that I was uncomfortable with his line of questioning. She didn't get into the specifics of why. A year or two later, he lost his license to practice because what he was doing was trolling for young men in their 20s that would have sex with an older guy.
No kidding.
Yes. He was a big bundle of sticks, that guy.
Wow.
How you fellas doing?
Oofta. Yeah, be wary, people.
All right, you are 2 and 2 on these ones.
Oh, my gosh.
Number 5, I have never been hospitalized.
Well, I mean, I know right off the bat that's crap.
Technically, that's fact.
Well,
I've been to the hospital.
But you've never been like...
It was inpatient.
You've never had an injury that had sustained you to be hospitalized?
And,
okay.
And more so, it was at a surgical center where they cut me, drugged me, and kicked me out the door.
Out. So it was in an actual hospital?
Yeah.
Boo!
Boo. See, I thought that would get you. Number 6. I have never kissed another man.
That's crap.
If we're talking on the lips, I've never kissed another man.
Well, so you didn't specify lips.
I thought if I left it vague enough, maybe you'd bite. And you did.
Stupid bitch.
I had a friend years ago where he thought it was funny to freak people out at parties. Him and this other friend of his be like, hey, let's kiss. And they go... And they just start looking at other dudes there to fuck with them. Now, keep in mind, this guy was skinny as all get out and short and had dreadlocks and looked slightly effeminate.
Okay.
He was baby-faced.
Sure.
So that really made the bit believable. But he's like, hey, you want to kiss? Just to freak people out. I'm like, no. No, I'm not, no.
Hi.
Look at your chin hairs. They're going to tickle. Plus, you're a guy.
Hair on my chinny chin chin.
He's like, well, we do it. I'm like, what? Geez, if you two suck each other's dick, should I get in on the fun? Come on.
So, did I get that one right or wrong?
You got that one wrong. Number 7. I once had a female doctor for a physical, and I popped wood in her face.
Oh, man. That seems like it's too good to be true. That's... oh, boy. I mean, you assessed me pretty good in the last couple of questions. I'm still going to stick with my guns and say that's crap.
That one is crap, but it did happen to Neil.
No shit.
Neil popped a half chub, and he said she kind of just had to hide the smile. She like kind of laughed, like, really? She goes to feel his balls, and he starts popping a chubby right in her fucking face.
Hey, you just informed all your listeners that there was a man profiling young men for gay sex. Maybe if he had popped a full boner, she would have been DTF in that office.
Come on, Doc. Give it a lick. You know you want to.
Yeah, just lick it like a lollipop.
You'll never be welcome back at that particular health partner's office if you utter something the phrase of
say, well, you're down there.
Oh, hey, this right here reminds me of a story that I was just told last week, going back to our talking about jail stuff, but we'll round her up, we'll finish, then I'll go back to that story.
Number 8, I have never had lice.
That's crap.
That is true. That's a fact.
Shit, didn't your daughters have a...
My kids have both had lice.
I just assumed...
One of them had it 4 times. The others had it twice.
I just assumed that
it
that
ran in the
somehow
family.
got you. I mean, because, yeah, once the kids get it, that runs rampant. Wow, that's good. I mean, you don't have much hair to... You've never had much hair to...
I haven't had a hair in like 18 years.
Yeah.
Maybe more now.
Shit. I jumped the gun on that one.
Gotcha, bitch!
Number 9, I have never left someone an upper decker.
That's crap.
That is crap. I have left a couple of upper deckers.
Yep, you told me a story about one.
And it's hard to do. I gotta say, until I actually tried to do it one time, I never realized the logistics of having to pee into the top of the tank while balancing. Right. So you need to lean on your one hand that's leaning on the tank without breaking it off, and then point your dick down to pee, and then squeeze out a turd, which you always giggle when you're doing it.
Right.
At least I do.
For sure.
I did it at a house that Rick James was renting with P2 and NATO and PD.
That's the ultimate fuck you right there.
It was just a tiny one, and you know what? I went back the next day, and it was gone.
So did it dissolve or they found it?
I think when they flushed, the ball cock opens up.
Yeah.
Ball cock. Giggity. And it fucking sucked the turd down.
Sure.
It might have pushed it down into the bowl.
Right.
So all of a sudden, just like, bloop, out comes a little doo-doo nugget.
Doo-doo.
Yeah. Oh, all right, well, you got that one. Number 10. During a campaign fundraiser for my mom years ago when she was mildly successful at local politics, I did something to piss off one of her friends who grabbed me and literally wrung my neck.
I could totally see that as fact.
That did happen.
Yeah.
And she didn't just wring it like she was strangling me like Homer does to Bart. She grabbed me one-handed, and then she grabbed the back of my neck while she was doing it, and she dug her fucking nails in and broke the skin.
Mm.
And I had scabs back there for like 2 weeks. And every time we saw her at church for like the next month, she tried to give me suckers to butter me up because she felt bad. I don't know what she was talking about to that guy, but I ran in between them with like a bouncy ball. Like a little super ball you get in like a fucking coin machine. And yeah.
And
that was her reaction.
Holy shit.
And I don't know if my thought was perhaps she was trying to seal the deal because she was not a very attractive woman. She was pushing 50 and she looked like John Denver.
Ugh.
Yeah, she looked like somebody's uncle. I thought a dyke, but I guess she was just into horses. Not that the two are really related, but I'm just saying. Let's tally your answers.
4?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got 5. 5 and 5.
Fitty.
Last time I went with Tim, we did 15, and he got 7 right and 8 wrong. So,
okay.
Your story, going back to the jail thing now.
Going back to the jail thing.
Close us out on a high note.
All right. This is a good one. So we've got this guy in the facility, that was with his girlfriend. They were conceiving together. They were going to have a baby, and it was a happy day. They were both severe drug meth addicts. He was one of those individuals where had no teeth. Happy-go-lucky dude, but very, very lacking in the teeth department.
Probably not a fan of corn on the cob.
No, definitely had to be off cob for him. Very, very nutty. Shows the signs and symptoms of someone who did meth a lot. And from the stories he told me about his girlfriend, she was the same. He never showed me any pictures of her or anything. But anyways, she was going to have a baby, and it was going to be sometime after he had got released. And we were kind enough to let him out to his girlfriend's physical. Like they're her 8-month thing to get checked out and make sure everything was okay.
She was going to have the ultrasound.
Yep.
Okay.
And so I've never sat in on one of those, but he was trying to explain what was going on to me, and he said, it was really cool that the doctor was a girl. And I was like, well, why? And he said, well, because she had to stick her fingers in my girlfriend, and I thought it was really hot. And then I just kind of did the whole face palm thing, like, nah, no way. And he said, yeah, I even got a smile out of her when I asked if I could take some pictures.
What is wrong with you?
Like, this fucking weirdo.
Really?
Yeah, this weirdo is sitting in the office with these two meth head couple. His girlfriend's getting felt up by a doctor, trying to figure out the sex and the, all that shit of their baby, and make sure it's okay. And he's asking if he can take pictures of her while her fingers are in his girlfriend.
Given that they're such colossal fuck ups, it's unfortunate that the nurse in that room was not Edward Scissorhands.
Right.
Fuck.
That's how it should have been. Coat
Sorry,
Hands.
kid, but we're saving you a lot of disappointment and pain.
Oh,
It's dead.
You didn't order the Rotor-Rooter service?
Whoops.
Oh, darn it.
Let me bring in our new intern, Susie Coathanger Fingers.
Ow.
Go.
Stabbity stab, stab, stab. All right, let me get a vacuum. We gotta get that out of there.
Make sure it's a Dyson.
Oh, God. I had to bring somebody in for an ultrasound before on a medical shift, and I just sat outside the room. I didn't actually watch.
Right.
And then they said, well, you better come in for this next part, right? This was just when they were, like, visualizing. I was outside the door when they were giving him the old two-finger handshake. So I had to sit behind a curtain.
Oh.
I had to sit behind a curtain while she got examined with the whole ultrasound.
Yeah. That thing going on.
She's like, can you hear it? Can you hear my baby's heartbeat? I'm like, yeah, all right. How about that? I'm thinking, God damn it, why did I take this shift? I don't fucking care about your stupid kid. It's probably going to come out retarded.
Addicted to stuff.
Well, I'd like to thank you for making one more episode with me before you
Sorry it took me a while.
Go off into the sunset. We'll see you, hopefully, sooner rather than later, 9 months to a year, hopefully no longer than that, before we hear from you again. I will try to keep in touch with him via internet correspondence.
Yes.
You can do that, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I will have Facebook and the interwebs. Maybe we could rig up some sort of Skype session or something.
I don't know how that would work. I don't have the internet at home.
That's true.
But what you can do, possibly, I think, is record videos.
Oh, and send them to you.
And then send them to me in a message.
Mm.
And then I can just take the video, hopefully, and convert the MP4 to an MP3, and we can play it. And you can tell a story from abroad.
Sure. Yeah, that sounds good.
Interact with the show on Twitter at What Do We Call It? That is at What Do We Call It? You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/groups/What Do We Call It podcast show. For the What Do We Call It podcast, I'm Jmann.
And I'm Bergie.
And that's the end.